Hey everyone, welcome to the Daily here on MLSsoccer.com. I am Josh Weisenhunt.
And I'm Greg Lawless. And Josh, do you know what it means now that we're in October?
Well, it's October, so...
Halloween? You getting ready for Halloween?
Yeah, I'm trying to.
Do you know what you're going to
pick out my costume a little bit. thinking Simon Borg maybe this year.
A Simon Borg costume. I don't know about that. Look, October to me means one thing: the race for the playoffs in Major League Soccer. Now we're down to the last 3, 4, 5 games for each club, and it is getting tighter and tighter. In the Western Conference, between 4th and 8th place, all 5 teams within 5 points of each other.
5 points, you
5
say?
points.
Greg? Wow, that's adorable. You know what? I got you beat, actually, because in the Eastern Conference, that margin, that's only 4 points, actually. And Greg, you mentioned it. We're coming down. We don't have many games left this season, and there are a bunch this weekend coming up that are absolutely critical.
Big games, and it's going to start actually on Friday night when Chicago are at DC United. Now, the Chicago Fire right now in 8th place. They need to make a move now if they're going to get into this playoffs. And at DC, a team that obviously won the U.S. Open Cup this week, so they've maybe got some momentum. They could also be a little bit jet-lagged and burned out, and they are in last place. So the Fire, you think, have to get 3 points in this one.
Yeah, absolutely. And another one that you talk about this weekend, we look at the Philadelphia Union hosting Toronto FC. You got to think that's a great opportunity for them to pick up some points as well. Of course, they're still riding that wave from that ridiculous win away to Sporting Kansas City last Friday.
Ridiculous?
I don't think
anybody, it's not ridiculous.
I don't think anybody saw it coming. Yeah,
well
right.
earned.
It's legit. 3 points. They're back above the red. They're good.
They need another 3 points. Although Toronto, that 4-1 victory at home against DC, so maybe they can get a little something going in Philly as well. Another big one, New England at New York. Red Bull Arena already sold out for this one, and you need to think the Revolution coming off that draw at home. Pretty disappointed there. New York coming off that draw at Seattle when they did not have James Olave, did not have Thierry Henry. Those guys are back. They are now pushing for the Supporters' Shield.
Yep, and the last one, we rounded off. This, to me, Greg, is the most fascinating matchup when you look at these teams that need to get closer to that red line or get above it or whatever.
This is big.
Columbus hosting Sporting Kansas City. Now, everyone loves Columbus right now because they're getting a little hot. They had that great win against FC Dallas last weekend, but the reality is that they have the lowest points per game of any of those teams that we've mentioned so far. And of course, Sporting Kansas City, Brian Bliss talked some smack last time when he came into the seat and they got roughed up a little bit at Sporting Park. So we'll see how they respond at home with the pressure on.
This is a different Columbus team than last time. Okay. Just remember that. They have some speed on the flanks. Dominic Oduro is doing everything expected of him. Bernardo Honor on the other side. These guys are getting it done. And this is a Columbus Crew team that is very dangerous. But you're right. They only have 3 games. Of those 5 teams we talked about, 4th through 8th, they're the one with 3. The other ones all have 4 games. They need 3 points in this one.
It's going to be so fun to watch. Make sure you check out MLSsoccer.com/schedule to get a handle on all the weekend action. Who do you think is going to get back up above that red line in the Eastern Conference when it's all said and done? Leave your thoughts in the comments below. All right, well, of course, as we come down to the end of the year here, there's been a lot of chatter around, Greg, that this is one of the most interesting ends to a season that we've seen in a long time. I mean, I would ask you, can you compare this to anything?
The only thing I can really compare it to right now is the 2009 race for the playoffs when it came down to the final weekend and there were about 6 teams fighting for 3 spots, maybe only 2 spots back then. I can't quite remember, but it was exciting. We were all sitting around on that Saturday night. I remember I was in Columbus, actually, and we were sitting around on Saturday night to see who was going to make it in, and it would change minute by minute when a goal was scored here and then a save on a penalty or something like that would happen, and we were all very tied to the TVs, glued to our seats, if you will, and it was an amazing time. And I do think that this year could be similar.
All right, so let's talk about this for a little bit. You mentioned October. We talked about all the teams that are sort of around, above or below that red line that we talked about in the first segment, but October throughout the rest of the month is full of these ridiculous 6-pointers where it's really do or die for a lot of these teams.
Yeah, and it really starts on October 9th when San Jose will host the Colorado Rapids. Now, the Rapids, of course, have turned it around in 2013. San Jose have turned it around within 2013. Think about how poor they were earlier in the season. Now they're right there in the playoff hunt. That's a huge game in San Jose.
Okay, so we have that one, and then we go on the international break, and then we come back October 19th. This is going to be a lot of fun. This is the start of 2 2-game series, one in the East, one in the West. New England, Columbus, and Vancouver, Colorado. They'll play twice in consecutive weeks against each other.
Home and home.
Yeah, home and home, October 19th and October 27th. I mean, I just can't wait to see what comes from that.
It's
going to be so fun to watch.
It's basically the playoffs.
Yeah,
right? It's
absolutely.
like a 2-leg series for New England and Columbus and Colorado, Vancouver in the playoffs, basically. A 2-leg series. That's huge. And then we do get a California Classico on October 20th, which I think could have a real bearing on San Jose's fate. By then, on October 20th, we will know whether the Earthquakes are in or out in that way. In terms of saying there will be 3 points on the line, I think if they get those 3 points at LA, by then they will know that they're in.
All right, and of course they finish things off October 26th, hosting FC Dallas. That's going to be kind of their last decider, I guess, and FC Dallas could be potentially their make or break as well.
It could be, but you know what? I'm going to put some bulletin board stuff out there for FC Dallas right now, right? I think by then, FC Dallas are out of it. Now put that on the bulletin board and prove me wrong, you guys. Go and do that so that game at San Jose is actually a determiner of whether you're in or out of the playoffs.
So you're saying Quakes in, FC Dallas
That's
out.
what I'm saying at this point.
Greg Lawless.
I might change that a week from now, by the way. I reserve the right to change that. But there, it's bulletin board, put it on, and you can use that as motivation, maybe.
And let's also talk about some other bulletin board material. Of course, Robbie Keane saying he's not sure if LA Galaxy are going to make the playoffs or not. What do you think about that?
Oh, I think that he's just doing that to wind some people up. It's well done. The guy's
learning from Bruce.
The wily veteran, if you will, right? And he's it's good for him. Good for him. Good for the league. Good for everybody in this one to wind everybody up and get people excited about it.
You said it, Greg. October is set to be an amazing final month. Head over to MLSsoccer.com/schedule to look at all the matchups the rest of the way and leave your thoughts in the comments below. Who's in, who's out. You can also hit us up on Twitter. I am at Josh Weisenhunt.
And I'm at Gagins.
All right, well, that does it for us here on The Daily. We will talk to you guys tomorrow.